Hi guys! So, last one. This is the last video lesson of the entire school year. Hopefully this should be pretty quick. We just got to review all the stuff that we talked about in chapter 12. I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, the review sheet does cover surface area and volume. I did post about this on Classroom that I am trying to lean more towards the volume side of things in terms of your check because you were already assessed on surface area, but you should expect to see some stuff involving surface area on the check as well. Real quick before I get started, two things. Not a lot of people have submitted the check by the time that I'm recording this. It's about Wednesday evening. Friendly reminder that is due on Thursday, today when this goes up, at noon. So if you haven't already submitted it or if you haven't started working on it, please do. It is an assignment. You will be graded for it for completion. And also I feel like the same thing I say with like every review. I did post a poll on for you guys to pick a time on when you want to take the check. Still waiting for a couple people to do that. So if you haven't picked a time, you know who you are. I will be sending out emails if I haven't already sent them out by the time you're watching this. So please pick a time. Yeah, cool. Let's go. All right. Find the surface area and volume of a sphere with radius 9 feet. So, surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So this is pretty easy. We have the radius, so we're just going to plug that radius in and then simplify it. So we could just do 81 times 4, and it's 324 pi. We were told to leave it in terms of pi. That's great. Don't forget units, feet squared. I'm sure you guys remember, I'm sure I've said this already, that there were a bunch of people on the surface area check that lost points because they didn't put units. It's half a point off every single time you forget to put units. Same thing as always, don't forget. Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Be careful of that difference. But again, we're just going to plug 9 in. So that's... wait, something's going... I'm plugging this into my calculator, and I am not typing it in right. Times 4 divided by 3 is 972. So, this is 972 pi feet cubed. And especially because there is surface area and volume on this check, you really, really have to be careful with the units. Feet squared is for area. Feet cubed is for volume. Please be careful. Again, you are going to lose points if you don't, or if you mix them up. Okay. Did you even hear that? I don't know. Anyway. Find the volume of the cylinder if the lateral area is 150 centimeters. Well, if we go all the way back, the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times the height. So that's what we're going to need eventually. Hold on a second. I feel like I might have... Is this the radius? So maybe this might have been supposed to be blurred out. I don't remember. This is an old presentation. We're just going to go with the whole lateral area is 150 pi centimeters squared because that's a pretty good review of some important lateral information. Oh, no, you know what? That is important because I have this little reference sheet with all the formulas on it. But anyway, we need the height. That's why we need to know the lateral area. And it's also good to review lateral area in general. In case you guys forgot, the lateral area of a cylinder is 2 pi r times the height. So we do need this, and we also need the lateral area because we have this missing height that we need to find the volume. Duh. Okay. So we plug this in. This is 2 pi times 5 times height. This is 10 So pi's are going to cancel out, and the height is 15. Cool. That's what we needed. And now we have enough information to find the volume of the cylinder, which, like I said, is pi r squared times the height. So we're just going to plug everything in. And 25 times 15 is 375 pi centimeters cubed. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Find the exact surface area and volume of the square pyramid. So, surface area of a pyramid is 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height plus the area of the base. So, I think we'll actually do that second just because I think volume is a little bit easier because we have all the given information for the volume. Volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the area of the base times the perpendicular height, which we have. So since it's a square, we know the area of the base is going to be 16 times 16, which is 256. So this is 1/3 times 256 times 15, which is exactly 1280. What are the units? Yeah, there's no units, so we're just going to say units cubed. That's the volume. That's easy. Get that out of the way. The surface area is a little bit more difficult. We're still going to use that same 256 for the area of the base. We know how to do the perimeter. It's the slant height, which is this part. That becomes a problem. But we do know we are able to find it because if we draw that in, we can draw in a third side and form a right triangle. Now the problem is we don't know what this third side measures either. We can figure it out though because it's actually the apothem of the base, even if my drawing of it is terrible. The apothem splits that 16 in half. So this is 8 and 8. So if we draw a lot more right triangles in the base, this is the right triangle that we're working with. This is 8. The angle up here is half of the measure of the central angle. And the central angle is 360 divided by 4, which is 90. So half of 90 is 45, which makes that tiny little triangle right here a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which means the other leg, which is the apothem, is also 8. So that means this side right here, you can't see that, this side right here of that right triangle that we actually need to work with is 8. And then we have 8, 15, and then the slant height is going to be the hypotenuse of that right triangle that's kind of standing up, you know? And it is a Pythagorean triple. It's 8, 15, 17. So the slant height is 17. So that's all the information that we would need to plug into the surface area formula. Perimeter of a square is just 16 times 4, which is 64. So this is 1/2 times 64 times 17 plus 256. So when you do all that, you get a really nice 800 units squared because it's area. All right. All right, we got a prism this time. Surface area and volume. Let's see. We do need the area of the base for both, so we'll just kind of go in order. Surface area is perimeter times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. This is another one of those you got to draw in the apothem and figure it out. So if we draw in our nice little right triangle, this 4 is split up into 2, so that's the base of our triangle. The central angle is 360 divided by 6 because it's a hexagon. That's 60, and half of that is this angle up here, which is 30. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. The apothem is your long leg, and the long leg is the short leg times root 3. So your apothem is 2 root 3. And we're going to leave it like that because it asks us for the exact surface area. So the perimeter, we can say it's a regular hexagon, so the perimeter is going to be 24 times the height of the prism, which is 10, plus 2, and then the area of the base is 1/2 times the apothem, which is 2 root 3, times the perimeter again, which is 24. The nice thing about this problem is that 2 times 1/2 cancels out. So you can just do 2 root 3 times 24, which is 48 root 3. And then 24 times 10 is 240. So this is 240 plus 48 root 3 centimeters squared. And we are going to leave it like that. Because again, no like terms, nothing else you can do with it. Volume is the area of the base times the height. So weird stuff happened here just because we were doing 2 times the area of the base. So I'm just going to go through sort of the whole thing over again, just to be a little bit careful. 1/2 times 2 root 3 times 24. And then we're multiplying that by the height of the actual prism, which is 10. So we do have some other stuff canceling out here. This 1/2 cancels out with this 2. So this would be root 3 times 24 times 10, which is now 240 root 3 centimeters cubed. And both of those are exact answers, the surface area and the volume. So that's it for that problem. Okay. A cone is cut out of a solid styrofoam box. Find the volume of the figure round to the nearest cubic centimeter. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is it's kind of like a composite figure type situation, except because the cone is being cut out, we're going to subtract it. So we're going to find the area of this prism, it's really a cube, and then subtract the volume of the cone. Did I say surface area? I meant volume. Volume of the cube minus the volume of the cone. That's basically what we're doing here. This is like your middle school kind of like length times width times height situation. So the volume of the cube is just 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. And then 4 right here is the diameter of your cone. So the volume of a cone is, where is it? 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So if the diameter is 4, your radius is 2. And then the height, this picture tells us that the cone, starts out at the top, and the high point of the cone, or in this case, the low point, stretches all the way to the bottom. So the height of this cone is the same 6. That's the height of the cube. So we're going to use that same 6 for this, for our height for the cone. Okay? So, when you do that, that's 8. So this is 8 pi. And then again, we have the cube that we're taking out the volume of the cone from. So this is 216 minus 8 pi, which if you plug that into your calculator is approximately 190, what does it say, to the nearest cubic centimeter? So it's 190.867 blah, blah, blah. So this is actually 191 centimeters cubed. And there you go. And is that it? That's it. So that, I believe, is most of, if not everything that you're going to need for your check. Obviously, the review sheet is a lot more extensive. This, I think, was only like 5 questions. So I would go more for like the review sheet kind of stuff in terms of what you need to prepare, how you need to prepare. You know where to find me if you have questions. Same kind of thing I said at the beginning. If you haven't picked a time yet, please do so. Not a lot of people have submitted the review sheet yet. So like I said, it isn't due until noon, but if you haven't started work, like I have no way of knowing whether or not you started working on it yet, because a lot of people still do stuff in their notebooks, which is totally fine. Just don't forget about it, because it is going to be marked as missing, which goes in as a 0 if you don't turn it in. And yeah, that's everything. Before I go, well, first of all, good luck on your check. But this is kind of it. So I might post a little something in a couple days, but have a great summer. I mean, real talk, like, I really have to commend you guys on all of the awesome work that you've done, not just online, but the entire school year. Like, I mean, of course, with the craziness, I really have to commend you for handling the craziness and still continuing to work hard and all that stuff. But it's just been a great year, It's been really awesome getting to know everybody. So have a great summer. Continue to stay safe. Hope your families stay safe. And definitely stop by in September if you feel so inclined. All right? Have a good one. Bye.